Hello, everyone. I'm T. David Jordan, the passionate music producer, creative mind, and the driving force behind Jehovah Music World. I'm joined by industry legend Carrie Haynes, an accomplished music professional and a true sync licensing magnet who's been instrumental in shaping soundtracks and commercials for years. Today we're going to talk about Pro Tools. We're going to dive into synthesizers, uncovering the secrets behind creating unforgettable beats and exploring the inspiration that fuels our creative journeys. Whether you're a producer, musician, or simply a lover of music, you're in the right place, the right time. From timeless gear like Korg Kronos to cutting edge production techniques and the ever expanding world of licensing, sync licensing, we share insights, stories, and actual tips to inspire your next big idea. Let's spark creativity, redefine sound, and celebrate artistry of music. Ready to get inspired? Let's go.
Lord, keep me in your care everywhere. Yeah, yeah. Oh.
Hello. How's everybody doing? I am King David Jordan. I'm one half of the host because I'm gonna bring the other half of the host in the way he's supposed to be brought in, the great way that he's supposed to be brought in. Hold on, let me make sure everybody's good. Wait. Hit that button right there. All right, there we go. All right, so I want to bring this next guy in. He is a industry veteran. He is a sync licensing magnet. Commercials, shows, TV, award-winning shows. This young man here is exceptional. And I am proud and happy to call him not only my cousin, but my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give a round of applause. Oh, you gotta be louder than that. Come on. You can do a little bit better than that. Give a round of applause to none other. There you go. Very well. Then Mr. Carrie Haynes. How you doing, brother?
What's up?
How you doing, brother? You doing good? You doing good?
I love that intro, man.
You know, I try, man. You know, I gotta make sure I break it on the right way. Hey, we're making history. We're making history right now. You know what I'm saying? This is something I've been dreaming of this for a while. I've been bugging you and reaching out and saying, "Hey, man, could you please just grace me on the thing?" You're like, "Boy, you're not finna embarrass me all live." I'm like, "Come on, just give me a couple of seconds. Come with your cousin just for a couple of seconds. He's just talking about stuff that we know." Man, how you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm blessed. You know what? Now that I look at it side to side, I see like we really do. We really are cousins. Like, we can't lie. We got the Hayes nose and everything.
That nose is a dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway. Brother, it is a pleasure to have you on with me to talk. And this is something we hopefully if we get good responses, man. This is something we can do more than one time. We can do over and over and over again, man. And just to talk music, because, you know, we both are music lovers. You know what I'm saying? And
oh yeah, for sure.
Before we get started, just give them a quick background of your music history, how you came up. I know, but you know the people in the audience, get them a quick background.
Well, quick rundown. I'm a television film music composer. That's the proper title for it. I've been doing sync licensing probably now for the past total for 16 years. Damn, yeah, 16 years. Full time for the last 11 years. So yeah, I've had music on just about any reality show that you could think of. Sports shows, the Super Bowl, March Madness, weekly games, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of Beverly Hills, any housewives show that you could think of. I've had one movie, no, two movies actually.
Mm.
There was this movie that was made a few years ago called Warhammer,
Okay.
and no, I think it was called Warhammer. It was based on a video game. Anyway, I had music in the trailer for that, and then it was a Richard Gere movie called Time Out of Mind that came out 2014. That had music in that. So yeah, so it's been a long, bumpy ride, but I'm happy to be here though. Still be here.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
How does it feel? A lot of people, you kind of live the dream that a lot of us want to live, where your music is something that you do not just for a living, but also something that you love. What's some of the great points, but then some of the downfalls of doing something that you love for a living? Also, how do you feel about that? And then we get into it.
The good parts is that you're able to make your own schedule. If I could say one thing that's the best, because I could work whenever I want to work, and I can not work whenever I want to not work. Most of the time I choose to work. But it's good to be able to, if something comes up with one of the kids or something like that, you can just kind of stop and do that and then come back to whatever you're doing. Some of the downsides of it is sometimes you can have so much work, where you're constantly in a creative flow and you really don't get to enjoy the creative process because you're trying to hit a deadline. So it's not like you could sit and make a beat or a piece of work and take a look at it and say, hey, I made that. No, it's like you make it, I got to move on to the next thing. So if I could say the biggest downside is sometimes you don't really creatively enjoy what you're doing because you have so much that you have to do.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, it answered my question exactly. So, man,
Okay.
it's really cool. I think that a lot of people do it for a hobby, so that they're able to maneuver how they maneuver. But I think it just gave some insight that a lot of people need to understand. Because sometimes we were talking the other day, and sometimes a lot of people, music is their release, but it's kind of hard to be released when it's also your job too. You know what I'm saying? It's also something that you're working in. Also.
Yeah. And another thing that I like to point out too, it's a service industry. So I would like to make East Coast boom bap beats. That's what I love to make for enjoyment. However, the opportunity to make that is few and far between. So if they ask for country hip hop, I have to stop and I have to make country hip hop. They say they want orchestral hip hop, I have to make orchestral hip hop.
Gotcha.
So even though it's still music, but it's a service. It's very service based, So
I got you. And we'll get to it. And the more we have this, ladies and gentlemen, we had a couple of views pop on. Listen, if you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, the more we get it reaction and responses, hit the thumbs up, the like and subscribe. The more reaction and responses, the more shows and more stuff we can bring to you like this. Now, the big news, Carrie, in hip hop, the big news in music production, the engineering has been coming from one of the guys I like. He's a very influential guy. He seems like I don't know him personally, but he seems like a great guy, a good dude. But he had the industry on what I say notice. I mean, he had the industry ablaze. And one of the things that he talked about was the fact that Pro Tools is not the industry standard. And I want to play a little bit of that, and then we'll go into how that goes. And we'll play a little bit of that, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss how we feel about it. What's our thoughts about it? Right here. Here's my man. His name is Bolo. Here it is, Bolo. The name of the video is called Pro Tools is not the industry standard. I'll put it in the description so you guys can watch the whole thing if you want to watch the whole thing. Carrie, how do you feel? Is Pro Tools the industry standard?
Okay. I didn't get all of his audio, but I do remember bits and pieces of what he said. I think Pro Tools is an industry standard in a recording studio. Because if you look, most of the times where you do see Pro Tools is actually in the recording studio. When you're in a lot of home studios, you really don't see it that much. However, like we talked about it the other day, I think if you want to get up to that level in the industry of being a recording engineer or a mixing engineer, that's knowledge that you need to have. You know what I mean? That's almost like your bachelor's degree to get in to recording. Because I'm pretty sure if you go to somebody like Dr. Dre or Eminem and say, "Hey, I want to be an engineer," you're gonna have to know that. You know. And I remember years ago when I first, and I'm aging myself with this one, when I first wanted to go start working at studios, the first question that they would ask me, "Do you know how to work Pro Tools?" And I would say, "No." Learn Pro Tools, then come back. And that's what actually forced me to go buy it, just because I wanted to move further up in my career. So I had to learn it just so I could even get into the room with certain people. You know, so I mean, is it still the industry standard? For now, but I think pretty soon is probably going to change unless they do some kind of major upgrade, because you have the programs like Studio One, you know, that's kind of marching in the Pro Tools territory. You have Logic that's kind of marching in the Pro Tools territory. And believe it or not, I think FL is gonna creep up on all of them if we're not careful. Because you remember how years ago FL was like, it was considered,
it was the butt of the jokes.
like a yeah,
it was
like
Fruit Loops,
like,
right?
you use FL,
What?
yeah. Like, but now
it's like
everywhere
serious.
you see, everybody that you see now is using FL. You
Right.
know, so I think, I think it's currently the industry standard, but I don't know how long you keep that spot. But if you want to be a recording engineer and go up to that level where you're at the studios in Burbank, California, or in New York City, you're gonna need to know Pro Tools.
Right.
Period.
I think it's a niche conversation, right? I think what Bolo's have is a niche conversation where he's talking about the kids, probably inner city kids, more than likely. You know, it's more of a youth movement of FL and people not using Pro Tools as much. And I think a lot of this, and I said it before in the video I made before, I think a lot of this spans from the users were already having complaints about features not being as as frequent as you would see in the Cubase or FL or a Studio One. So they were already complaining. But then when they changed the paying model, I think that's when everybody really went like, okay,
because now you can't even buy it outright, can you?
You can buy it. No, you can't buy perpetual. You can get a year. Well, I think you can get a year. You can't buy perpetual. I just lit this up. I think it's $5.99 for a year to get Ultimate, and then it's like $2.99 to get the Studio. So and then unless you got education. Now, if you got education, I think it's $2.99 and $99, if I'm not mistaken, for the year to get the perpetual license with all the upgrades and things of that nature. And I think that's really what upset everybody, because before you could just buy it right out. You got the updates, and then you looking at something like Logic, where you buy Logic once for $199, and I've had it since
You got
2000
free updates forever.
ever, right? Yeah, I've had it since 2013 or something like that, and 2012, and it's still it was Logic X. Now we're up to Logic 11, and we still getting updates, and it's been free.
Yeah.
But Apple's model is different though. Apple is not trying to sell you Logic. Apple is trying to sell you a computer. So it's a different thing. Whereas Pro Tools is trying to sell you a DAW. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that we have to, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think right now it still is. I agree with you. It's gonna be interesting to see how it moves in the future. I see Pro Tools making some changes though. With their last Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I think they're gonna have to make some changes to stay competitive with the Studio Ones, with the Logics, with the FLs, because all the ones that we mentioned, Logic, Studio One, FL Studio, you could buy it outright for I think, like you said, with Logic, you could buy that outright for $200. I think Studio One, you could get that for like $200.
Right.
And FL, I think if you get the higher end one, it's like $500, but you own it for life. Now, if you as a consumer, if you're going to charge me $600 a year to use something, and I'm like, well, why am I going to pay you $600 every single year where I could pay $500 one time, get lifetime updates, and I'll have it forever? And also, and you and I talked about this previously, as far as the VST implementation in Pro Tools, it's not as advanced as it is in the FLs, in the Logic Pros and stuff like that. Logic Pro, FL, well, I don't know about FL, but I know with Logic Pro and Studio One, you could make your beat and mix right there easily. In Pro Tools, last time I used it, the recording section of it was dope, was spectacular, but it was very hard to make your beat.
The mixing aspect
So
of it,
I don't know.
yeah. The mixing aspect of it was great, but then when you try to do the actual production of it, you know what I'm saying, the engineering of it is great. And I think it still is, but it's the production. I think Pro Tools is trying to make, like I said, I think they're trying to make a change, and they're recognizing that they're losing a key demographic of their audience. I think with, was it 2024.10, they came out with the spectral layers, the ARA plugin spectral layers, which is actually a collaboration with Steinberg. And, you know, Steinberg came out with spectral layers, and I think it's cool. Pro Tools recognizing, hey, the stem separator is really important. That's what spectral layers does. You know, it cleans up the spectral layers, and then also does stem separation. So you look at all the other DAWs now, the Studio Ones, the FL, Cubase, Logic, all have stem separators. So, and this has been the issue. I agree with you. The issue is, you are asking for this amount of money from me, but the features are coming in late. You know what I'm saying? Or they're not as feature heavy or as progressive as an FL. But I think too, because Pro Tools is, I'd say it is an industry standard at the moment, they have to be careful not to change too much where FL can take some chances, right? Because it's more to lose when you got a big project and you getting paid, you know, a significant amount of money to make sure this working. I need to just be stable. I need to just be working because we're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars to do this record, rather than somebody who's sitting in the house saying, hey man, I'm making beats for fun. Me and my friends were in there rapping and stuff like that. So I think they have to kind of be, you know, go ahead. They have to be, you know, a little bit more tedious and a little bit more, you know, careful.
They have to be, they have to be careful not to lose their base, because a lot of times, if you look at even when film composers, I'm talking about film composers like Hans Zimmer and John Williams and people like that, they still heavily use Pro Tools. Right. But people like Hans Zimmer and John Williams, they're not using a bunch of VSTs and stuff like that. They're using live orchestras. So to them, Pro Tools is, you know, that's their workflow. So you don't want to alienate them for smaller people like me. You know what I mean? If you got Hans Zimmer on a project and he's like, yeah, I need Pro Tools, and you got me on my little TV project, and I'm like, I need you to do this. Like, the hell with you, little man? I'm following with Hans Zimmer over here. So
stability is important. Like, people talk about a lot of times, like I said, like, we could get an FL feature. I remember when they came out with the stem separator. Well, shoot, we could look at Akai with MPC. You know, we've been on the beta of 3. What is it? MPC 3 for a while now, and they're rolling out slowly. Like, hey, what do you guys think? And they're kind of letting the consumer be the tester, which is cool. I love that. I'm cool with it. But like I said, I think when we're deadline, we don't have time really to be testing and make sure this work or this is this. We gotta meet this. We gotta meet this deadline. We gotta get it in. So I think when it's more of a business thing, and this is another thing too. I think Bolo, who is needed, I think he's making a great conversation about Pro Tools not getting not getting too what's the word I'm looking for? Comfortable. Right? And not resting on their loins and say, okay, we're Pro Tools. Like, no, you still gotta work. You still gotta make these changes, make these things, and try to keep progressing because time is progressing. AI is here now, which we'll talk about a little bit later. You know, all these things are progressing. Well, that's really a good segue. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All these things are progressing in that way. I'll let you get the last word on that.
Yeah. I think you're 100% correct. Just because, and I think Bolo sounded an alarm that needed to be sounded.
Right.
Just because the way things are moving, you can't, as far as Pro Tools is concerned, you can't just stay that much of the same. Right. You got to move a little bit because your competitors they've passed you, but they're still living off the title industry standard. But they're not going to be able to live off that title for much longer. And like you said, with AI, especially like with the last update of Studio 1.7, which I haven't had a chance to actually deal with a lot, but based on the videos that I've seen, I mean, that is far more advanced than Pro Tools.
It's amazing.
You know what I mean?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's not my new weapon of choice is Studio 1.7 Pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I started messing with it this morning. I said I'm gonna finally get into it. So
it is amazing. They've done a great job. A couple things I don't like. A couple things they can work on it for me. But that Melodyne to audio MIDI is crazy. Like you can take an audio track, Melodyne it, then just drag it up to the software instrument, and it automatically puts the MIDI tracks in there. It's cool. It's crazy. It's amazing. So it's a lot of things that Studio One does right. And I think Pro Tools is on the, like I said, they're making some changes. They got they had the synth cell and other plugins that they're trying to bring in to try to make it so. I'm encouraged that Pro Tools is going to get it together. You know what I'm saying? So shout out Pro Tools.
I think after this they will, because I know they've had to have seen that video in the videos that come after it. You know what I mean? I think they're looking.
Yeah, and a large amount of the production and engineering community agreed with those sentiments. You know what I'm saying? So that's something they have to take it to effect, that a large amount agree. Now I know they're trying to get the MIDI plugins in there. They're trying to do different things to try to, generate different things like that. But you can't rest on your laurels. You gotta keep moving. Yeah. Especially with AI coming. And I think that the segue good to what we're talking about. Here's Timbaland talking about AI and how AI is being used and how some people don't like it. And it's like, not in production, not in music, you don't need it. And then other people, and Timbaland had a different thought process. Here's what Timbaland said right here. All right, Carrie, how do you feel about the now this is big. AI is in the building. I'm actually going to do a video a little bit later dealing with AI and Splice. I'm going to do a video dealing with AI and Splice. How do you feel, Timbaland, talking about AI, talking about what he had going on with AI and everything else? How you feel like that?
Well, I couldn't hear the video, but I heard some of it when you were playing it earlier. I think he is correct. Here's the thing. Here's my take on it. MPC, which everybody uses, is actually AI. If you want to go further back into the 80s, a Linn drum machine, that was the drum machine that everybody used. Prince used it, Michael Jackson used it, all of the 80s synthwave bands, the Linn drum machine everybody used. That was AI. What we're witnessing now is just simply a upgraded version of that. And I think if you already have musical skill, AI is only going to enhance that musical skill. If you have zero skill, AI may help you a little bit, but the people who are skilled that have AI are going to be way better than the unskilled people using AI. So within the past, I would say 6 months or so, I've been getting into the AI. I personally love it, just because number one, I'm able to work a lot faster. Number two, I'm able to to delve into genres where I might not have been able to delve into. In the earlier, I spoke about country hip hop or hip hop, as they call it. I know music, but I don't really know country music all that great. But with the help of AI, now I can do that. Now, if I had no musical skills whatsoever, AI is not going to help me a lot. But one good thing I have seen, even within my industry, they are gatekeeping. They are, what's the best word I'm looking for? They're keeping it under control. So it's just like, okay, yeah, you could use AI, but you just can't type a prompt and the prompt is your product. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You have to have some human element to it. So I think what Timbaland is saying is correct, because I've used it where I've had voices behind me. Like I had my voice saying something, it's my words and it's my voice, but I prompted to AI to say what I'm saying behind me in a bunch of different voices. Now, if I'm just using AI just to have an AI voice, that's different. But I think he's right. I think everyone needs to get on board, just because that's where it's going, and that's something that you're not going to be able to stop. That's like you going back to the year 2000 and say you're going to stop the iPhone. It's not. It's not going to happen. You got to move with it. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it. I think it's moving in the right direction. A lot of people they worry about losing jobs or whatever. But I think the industry is smart enough where it's okay, like, yeah, we have AI, but if you add the human element along with the AI, it's going to enhance the creativity. You know, it's going to enhance and make better product than what we would normally come out with.
I love AI. If I wasn't married, AI would be my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? AI is beautiful, man. It's beautiful, baby. It's a beautiful thing. I do see why some people are scared, because it can do so much. Like I'm actually working on a video now called Real Talk, saying AI is my new business partner, because it's so much that you can do with AI. And even from a production and music production, I was actually going to show you, I'm having issues with the sound. I was actually going to show you something with Splice, just to give the people on nuggets, to show something that's going on with Splice and their AI, and how they have it set up, and how it's set up, and how great it is. But just for some reason, every time we play the video, everybody keeps saying that we're not getting sound when we're playing videos or when we go off of what we're doing, and that's fine. But I got my sketch. That gave me my sketch. Okay, now let me embellish it and make it, actually produce it and make it a song, or make it a track, or whatever it is I'm trying to produce at the time. Let me do that. But with AI, it is so fast. It is so quick.
Yeah,
it works like that.
And the kind of, and to add a point too, as I saw you working in the Splice thing, where you could like stack the tracks and stuff like that, and it give a little bit more a different perspective to look at it. Way back when, I won't say the year, because then I'll be giving up my age. But to do what you just did, right? You would have to go. Number one, you would have to get out your house and go to the record store.
Yes.
Number one, or the CD store to get your sounds. Right. It wasn't just on the computer. You would have to go get your sounds either on vinyl or CD, and you have to sit and you would have to go through each thing and pick something out of that you might like. You might find a drum loop that you got to pick, but you have to find a drum loop. You might find a melody that you may like. You would have to find it, physically leave your house, go out and get it. Now, you could just go on your computer, pull it up, and there you go. It's right there. And I know you said we were going to talk about the Kronos,
right?
The Kronos 3. But there's something at one point I do want to make before I forget, and before we go to Kronos 3. Now is the greatest time ever, I think, to be a music creator.
I think so,
because we have so many tools. There's so many different things that we could choose from. You know, we have the artifacts from the past that we can still use, and we could combine the artifacts from the past with the AI, with the DAWs, with the computer. So now is like the best time to be a creative. I'm glad that I'm here and I'm in this time where it's just like, okay, I could grab a keyboard and hook my keyboard up to my computer, play something on the keyboard, and have AI to finish the rest of it for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful when you think about it.
Right. Or if you don't have an idea, you could just kind of turn on chord mode and just play around the AI, and the AI gives you chords as you play the note and give you an idea quickly like that. I think at the end of the day, it's the future, and I think that's what Timbaland was saying in his video. I know y'all couldn't hear it, and I'm gonna edit in that and re-add it when we get done. I'm gonna download it and re-edit it and put the stuff back in here, but the audio in so you can hear it. But Timbaland was talking about that too. He's like, man, like first of all, being more efficient, I think is very important with AI. It's more efficient, it's faster, and see someone like you that has a lot of deadlines and stuff like that, it can help get that done quicker, right? And the thing is, it still doesn't take away the creative mode process, because if you're a sampler, that's the same thing you do. You just did through crates till you find the sample, and then I'm gonna sample it, boom, and I'm take out. Now I think with the big deal, and I didn't show you on this, but I'll show you on the video later. So make sure you guys check out the video later that we're gonna make. I'm gonna do a whole breakdown of the Splice video. It's not sponsored. I just feel like it's a tool that everybody can use. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna do the stems, and I'm gonna import it into Logic. And we're gonna take it even further, because once we import it into Logic, and you can do it in the Studio One too. But once you import it into Logic, then you can use one I think is one of the biggest tools that has been really released in the last, I say 4 or 5 years, that is huge now. It's getting to the point where it's crazy. You can now stem separate it. So before, you used to have to either you had the instrumental, or you had to get real creative on how to get that beat off there to that sample. You know what I'm saying?
You had to chop it up. You had to take a piece. You had to sample around the vocals and get it to make sense. So.
Right. Now you could just, I don't like that. I'll take the vocals out. Now it's even to it. Now if you're a sound creator or you do sound design, now it's so much easier. Now we talked about Timbaland. I got that famous Timbaland kick and snare. You know what I'm saying? I can strip it down to the kick and the snare. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And now I can do it and put it in my arsenal and say, yeah, I got Tim's kick and snare, or I got Dre's kick or snare. You know what I'm saying? It's that crazy now where still separated, and that's all AI. Like people, they hate on AI, be like, but they got to realize that's AI. When you search for something in Google, that's AI. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, that's all AI. So it's a tool. Don't allow it to be a crutch. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've been using AI to submit songs to different artists, and I write it, I produce it, I put it in something like Suno or Udio, and have a singer sing on it, and then I take it back out, I stem separate it, I reproduce it, and then I send it to the artist. Hey, what you think about this? Oh, I love it. Oh no, I don't like it. Or change this. It's very good, and it's very something that once you get a hold of it and a grasp of it, man, the world is at your beck and call. I mean, any type of music, it's at your beck and call. So I like it. So it's a thumbs up for you? Thumbs up for me too.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. All right, speaking of thumbs up, I can't play the video, because I don't have no sound. Speaking of thumbs up, there has been a new instrument that has hit the airways. And I heard now when I made my last video, I don't know if you saw the last video, Kerry. I made my last video, and I made mention, I said, hey, I'm hearing rumors that a new Kronos is about to drop. And when I was hearing the rumors, I tell you who it was. I forgot his name, Lord, just that quickly. But he does gospel musicians, a bald-headed black guy. That's all I remember. I'm gonna get his label, I'll put it in the thing. All right, but
that could be me. But it's not.
Like, oh, you really broke that down, King. You know what I'm saying? You brought that down. But he came through and he said, man, we're hearing rumors of Kronos. I'm like, a new Kronos. And I was just in the video talking about the Kronos 2 is still $2,500. I don't know if y'all been paying attention. I've been trying to get a secondhand Kronos. They don't, because they discontinued it. The last one was the Kronos LS. Right? And then they came out with the Nautilus. And when they came out with Nautilus, I instantly said, oh, it's a mistake. When I saw it, I said, yeah, that's not gonna go over well. And Kerry, you know why I said why you think I said that?
I don't know, because it was a stripped down Kronos.
Yes, it was exactly. Yes, because when you saw the Nautilus, the first thing you recognize is it didn't have any faders. It had no faders, and we were like, well, wait a minute, the Kronos had faders. And when you saw it, you was like, okay, it's stripped down, and it's missing something that is a very important to a lot, especially live musicians and producers too. Very important, not having those faders on the Kronos. And then they came on the Kronos 2, and I'm like, man, the Kronos 2 is fantastic. It's such a fantastic keyboard, man. It was it sounded amazing. The piano on that by itself was just, it was fantastic. And it wasn't a German grand, it was an Eisentorf. But the piano on the original Kronos was so freaking amazing that it just it made you want it to. It just sounded good, man. It sounded great. And what I heard was the Nautilus sounds really good too. And somebody like me, that's a keyboardist and a hobbyist, and I like, we both like to buy workstations and keyboards. We almost get kicked out of the house for buying keyboards all the time. You know what I'm saying? Synthesizers. The Nautilus was a step back for Korg, and it seemed as if everybody else was taking that step forward. Like you had Nord was trying to become the king. Yamaha, when they came back with the new montage,
MO, the montage, and then Roland had come up with the updated
Fantom,
the updated Fantom.
The Fantom ES. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and I was just going to say these because you know how everybody has like their flagship synthesizer, but then they made a knockoff. Well, Korg, they made a knockoff of their flagship synth, which wasn't that great in my opinion. Like I've seen it, the Nautilus in Guitar Center, and I just didn't like. I didn't even like how it looked, to be honest with you. But when we talk about the Kronos, I feel like an idiot because I had a Kronos. I had one.
No,
I got rid of it.
No,
I had it, but I got rid of it.
Okay, since I started,
and I regret getting rid of it.
Listen, since I started getting back into the doing music, right, and getting serious about it, I said, everybody's like, "Why are you getting all these keyboards?" And I said, listen, each keyboard brings something. My wife especially, she goes, "Okay, babe, each keyboard brings something different. It's a different sound to each keyboard. It's a different feel. Each one has, a speciality, right? It's a little piece of, situation on it." And I just when I played the Kronos, it just was like, this is a board, and I couldn't afford one, so I went and got the little baby. I got the Chrome.
I had a Chrome too, actually.
Right, I went and bought the Chrome because at the time I couldn't afford the Kronos. I went and got the Chrome, and I loved the Chrome. The only issue with the Chrome was all the beats, all the sounds was on the small of the SD drive, and my SD drive kept breaking. And it used to tick me off. Anytime I put in the car or put in the bag and try to travel, my SD drive would fall off. And I had to keep getting fixed. And it would just tick me off. I had to keep getting fixed. I was like, I can't keep doing this. But I loved that board too. It sounded fantastic. But then I got an FA and it was over with. It was over with. I'm a rolling guy at heart. I'm rolling at heart. Yeah. So you look at the side. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the side here, you see it's the ES. You know what I'm saying? So, rolling guy at heart. That's what I am. I'm a rolling guy all the way at heart. But
and I will say I actually had a Kronos and a Chrome. Like an idiot, I got rid of both of them. But the Kronos sounded like a giant monster compared to the Chrome. You know what I mean? It just sounded so much bigger. So I can't imagine. I was looking at the video with the Kronos 3, and I don't know if you could tell me if you know, they put all of the Triton sounds in the Kronos 3. Did they have that in the Kronos 2?
I think you had it was I think it was an update. You had to download it. I think it was a download. Okay. But I don't think you got it like you have these. Now this has the Triton. They're going in, and if you guys haven't seen it, this is what it looks like. All right, so first, cosmetically, what do you think about it?
Dope. Beautiful.
You like the black on the
Beautiful
black with the
piece
black on
of the black on black, dope. The weighted keys, dope. I like the whole thing. I like the
it?
whole thing. So yeah, I think they're definitely headed in the right direction. And we were talking earlier about the price point too. I think the price point is perfect because when the first Kronos came out, I think the first Kronos was like what 32,
Two,
34?
yeah, it was up there. It was up there. It was pretty high.
Yeah. I'm
So
probably getting myself in trouble because at the time when I got mine, I didn't explain that to my wife.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna explain this one to her. I'm like, hey, we might not take that trip for your birthday. Huh?
I hope she's not. I hope she's not watching because
Oh, she's definitely gonna catch wind of that.
yeah, it's like 3,200, and I was like,
Yo.
oh, it was like $1,500. That's the same amount. That's the safest amount I can use.
No more than $2,000. You know what I'm saying? Hey, $2,000. Listen, but it's really a beautiful piece of gear, and I think when you see it and you start to pay attention to it, it is definitely worth. I mean, 20 for it to be going at 26.49 is that is that's euros.
Yeah.
So maybe was it more expensive or more cheaper? United States is more expensive.
I think
it's more
euros is a little bit cheaper. So if it's 26 euros, it's probably close to $3,000, but it's still cheaper than what the first Kronos was.
Right.
And one thing I did want to point out that the Korg keyboards always did better than the other keyboards, especially on the Kronos. The drum sounds on the Kronos, heavy. They trample over the drums in the Yamaha, whatever line Yamaha comes out with, whatever line that Roland comes out with. You are not gonna get more punchier drums than out of the Kronos. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's where to me where the sounds were dope, but where they put themselves ahead of the other keyboards, those drum sounds that came in it were just it almost sounds like MPC drums almost.
They don't hit. So, I just I was going. I was like, so are they the MPC carry? Are they getting to the MPC?
They're close. They're close. I mean, they are very. I'll say they're very punchy drums. Even when the Triton came out, the drums in the Triton were punchy. You know what I mean? Because that's what Pharrell and all of them used. They were straight up drums that were in the Triton.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think it did grinding. That was on the 01W, if I'm not mistaken. That was an 01W event.
No, that was on.
Yeah,
that was on the Triton.
You sure? I thought it was on the 01W. I thought grinding was on the 01W.
The percussion kit.
No, you're right. Because I was they was looking at. No, it was on 1. I think it was on 1W, Kerry. I think. Well, you might be right. Because when I saw the video. And it was in the studio. Chad was on the Triton. No, he was on the Triton. He had like a double stack. He had the tri-stack with the Triton. So I thought it was the 01W though. I thought it was the 01W. I know he's always used Korg. That's been his keyboard. And now I think he's in Logic now. I think he uses Logic now. Pharrell uses Logic now. Yeah. But I agree, man. I think the Johnsons were spectacular. They were hitting hard. Not quite as hard as the MPC, you know what I'm saying? I get we smiling because it's an inside joke about MPC and the drums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm late to the MPC game. What can I say? You know what I'm saying?
That's all right. Better late than never.
I'm more of a Machina guy too. You know what I'm saying? So, but Machina Native Instruments, I don't know what they're doing. Y'all got to pick it up. Y'all got to pick it up.
I think they dropped the ball with that last Machine update.
Yeah,
I think it was a lot more they could have did with it. I'm not quite counting them out yet, though.
Now I think Bolo said that they may have one in 2026, a new machine, 3 or 4, or the end of 2025. You know, a new machine is coming, and I hope so.
Yeah,
but
you know what though? I'm gonna tell you what everybody and this is gonna sound very nerdy of me.
Okay,
but what everybody should be on the lookout for is Akai. When Akai drops that MPC3 desktop software,
that's gonna be great.
It is a wrap.
You think so?
It's gonna be a wrap. Yeah. When they drop that MPC3 desktop software, and I'm just judging on based on what the beta is doing on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Is gonna be a wrap, because what you're gonna be able to do essentially is make your beat in standalone on the keyboard, and then be able to just put it right on the computer and work on it DAW style.
That'll be dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could just go and you don't have to dump tracks. You don't have to stem nothing out. You could just take whatever you made in standalone and pull it right up on your computer. Once they come on with that MPC3 update,
it's gonna be a problem.
It's a wrap.
It's gonna be a problem.
It's a wrap.
I just think at the end of the day, I'm excited about where the future's going. I'm excited. I'm excited about the new Kronos. This Kronos is coming out. The Kronos 3. It like I said, it looks really, really good.
It
like
looks dope.
Go ahead.
And you mentioned the spitif, the back of it, the spitif in and out. Mm-hmm. Because I'm guessing they're probably gonna have it where you can split out the audio in the 16 channels.
Right.
Which is also gonna be dope. You know what I mean? Where you could just split it out. Like if you have your Logic session up, you could just split the keyboard out in the 16 channels. So I mean, I think that's gonna be dope too.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Like you talked about, let's review a little bit. New sounds unmatched. The new Kronos builds a legendary foundation of 256 additional programs crafted to inspire your creativity, elevate your music. This is addition thousands of included programs, combinations that make Kronos the ultimate among music workstation. And I'm glad they call it a workstation, because Roland doesn't call it. Roland calls theirs a synth. The Fantom, they say it's a synth, not a workstation. The Montage, they don't call it a workstation either. They call the Montage a synth also. So I'm glad they're calling it a workstation. Another new addition to 128 brand new programs featuring highlights such as the Italian that piano, man, is.
Yeah, that piano.
Now Nord is caught up. Now I can't hate Nord's piano cuts. I still go with the Korg though. I still go with the Korg.
No, that Korg piano, it sounds like a real Steinway, any kind of like a real piano made out of wood. When you hit it, you could feel the warmth. You know what I mean? So yeah, their piano sounds is just
phenomenal.
Hardware wise, their piano sounds is just like off the chain.
All right, known for stunning transparent resonance and the Time EP Early, which authentically replicates earthy vintage tone metal ride 10 Time electric pianos. The expanded palette also includes FM electric pianos, versatile synth pads, lush leads, and more, providing a wide range of useful sounds and genre. Complimenting. All right, so let's move to exclusive programs. The new Kronos comes preloaded with incredible array of iconic sounds. Now, I hope this is the end of this. We're kind of in that mode where all the keyboards want to go back. They want to get the DX sounds. They want to get the old the Roland want to bring back the Jupiter and all the old sounds. Cool. Let's go. Let's get it out. Let's get about the way. Now let's move forward. You know what I'm saying? But the Kronos comes with preloaded with an array of iconic sounds from the Kronos sound libraries, delivering instant inspiration and versatility. Among these are the best. There you go, right there. The KR. Why they call it the KRS? I was waiting for KRS-One. The KRS-08. Best of Triton, a brilliant collection of 128 programs for the legendary Triton, one of the best-selling synthesizers of all times, including the preloaded gift. This collection brings the timeless sounds of Triton directly to your fingertips. Then they got the KRS-04 Pro Splits and Layers, essential keyboard splits and layers optimized for seamless real time. Man, it sounds like it's gonna be a beast. It sounds like it's gonna be different.
That's
crazy.
That's a beautiful machine right there.
Yeah,
sure.
the KRS-05 ensemble combinations perfect for band settings. These combinations feature rich brass, lush strings, and a powerful synth ensemble. Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be this. In addition, KRS-6, KRS-6B, CS3, that's the organ signature sounds collaboration between Korg and top tier organists. Introduce 256CX3 organ programs. Yeah, these faithfully crafted sounds capture the essence and classic tone wheel organs preloaded with and ready to play. Man, this sounds like it's gonna be a beast. Unmistakable style, the Kronos maintains legacy. It looks good. Optimized for speed and precision. All right, now this is what I want to get to. Optimized for speed and precision. Kronos raises the bar performance and efficiency with this re-engineered system architecture, delivering 60% faster startup. Because you remember the old Kronos took forever
it took forever. Like even when you were
Oh
on
my
the load page,
god.
it just on the load page, it took a long time. That's one of the things I remember not liking about it, because you would turn it on and you could walk away and get you a glass of water or
It
wine in
still
my
be
case.
loaded. Yeah.
But it would still be
Still be
loaded.
loaded. It took
Yeah,
forever to load. Oh my
yeah,
god. Yeah, yeah. The Chrome even took a long time. I
yeah,
was like, God, you ain't even got all the stuff the Chronos got. What you doing? What you taking
yeah.
so long? But it took
But I think
forever.
I saw in a video earlier that this one has an SSD drive in it,
Oh, that'd be
so
dope.
that'll make it go a lot quicker. I hope.
All right,
But
so it says delivering a 60% faster startup time compared to the previous one. So that's more than half. So that's good. That's at least that's a good
yeah,
thing. The dramatic improvement minimizes downtime, ensuring you're ready to perform and create daylight. I heard. Listen, man, we was at a concert, big concert. I'm talking about in an auditorium. Dude was playing. It was a church concert. It was a church concert. Dude was playing,
mm.
and he had a Kronos, and it went out. And dude,
Ooh,
we sat there for like it had to be like
waiting for
5
it to
minutes,
reload.
ready for reload.
Good God.
And
Yeah,
I was a musician, so I said the musician corner, and I was hearing him saying, "I will not take this live with me ever again." And I think he went
yeah.
and sold
I
it.
know
I
that
think
was
he
the
went and
longest
sold it.
5 minutes in his life.
Man, he was sitting there sweating. We just waited, like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What you got? He said, "Man, I would never." He said, "I would never gig with this again." And I think the next time I
mm.
saw him, I think he had a motif. You remember the motifs? He had the motif.
Yeah,
And the next time I saw you, I think he had a
yeah.
motif. I think a lot of people went motif, and then they find out what's happening. Paired with the enhanced touch view interface, Kronos other unmatched responsiveness, make everything. And I think Kronos was one of the first ones with the touchscreen anyway, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
They why can't I remember? I had one. Jeez, Triton. No, not Triton. Trinity.
Trinity. Okay. Yep.
Trinity was the first one with a touchscreen,
Yeah. I think that was one of the first
and
ones.
they just kept on doing it from there.
Yeah. So
And everybody else is. I mean, everybody. I think because the Korg was the first one to do it, and I think Roland's followed after that. Either Roland was the last or Yamaha was the last. But I know Korg was the first to do it though.
Listen to this. Oh, they doing the PlayStation 5 style. They said since the debut of 2011, Kronos has consistently evolved with each generation receiving substantial updates while maintaining full compatibility across models. The long-term approach ensures all Kronos systems can utilize a extensive range of Kronos sound libraries, following musicians to seamlessly integrate new sounds and features as they become available. Oh, this is going to be hard if it's doing what I think it's going to do. Looking ahead, a sound pack will be released in the second half of 2025 for previous Kronos and Nautilus owners, bringing the latest Kronos sound to earlier models. Oh man, that's dope. That's dope. That's a big look. That's a big look. This commitment ensures that every musician can benefit from Korg's ongoing innovations, regardless of their systems, and that's smart too. Because you know why? Because now, let me be finished, and I'll tell you why I think it's smart. Additionally, the new Kronos offers two types of preloaded data, optimized to support both Kronos 1X and Kronos 2 in their respective program orders. For these seeking even greater versatility, premium sounds like the Australian piano and the Italian piano are available for purchase through Kronos Sound Library, further expanding its capabilities. Dog, that's tough. So that means, and I'm tell you why that's smart too. Because like I was saying yesterday, the new Kronos has, and man, we thank all the new listeners, we thank all the new viewers that's jumped on, and man, the numbers have been going up. Thank you guys so much for chilling with us. All right, and the reason why that's a big deal, because I was telling you before, the Kronos hasn't lost any value. The Kronos 2 is still 2,500. That's why I'm shocked that it's 2,600 euro, because the Kronos 2 right now, if we go look Kronos 2 up, the Kronos 2 is still. I looked it up the other day. But we look it up now. The Kronos 2 synthesizer. Let's see, shopping. It's still 4,000. Oh, that's 4,000 for Kronos 2. That's crazy. Kronos sets for 490. That's a Mercury. I can't trust it. But look, them joints are still running 2,500. The Kronos 2 is more expensive than the Nautilus. Easy.
Yeah.
You can't
and
find
how long
one.
the Chronos 2 been out? The Chronos 2 been out for a minute.
Like 2011.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, so I mean that says a lot that it still costs that much over 10 years later. So yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah, so it hasn't lost its, here we go. Look, it hasn't lost its value. 2000. look, pre-owned Kronos 2 88 key, $3,000. It hasn't lost its value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 4,000. It hasn't lost its value. They're still selling. So for it to be, you're actually getting a fantastic deal for it to be that it hasn't lost its value. And I think it's great now. If you still have that keyboard, now you can download and you can get the latest version of the sounds to work on that keyboard. Now it's gonna take you forever to download. It's gonna take you forever. It's gonna take you forever to load. But at least you have it. You know what I'm saying? At least I just thought about that. At least you have it, right? So Kronos offers expensive Sonic palette, thousands of expertly crafted sounds, cover every genre, power vastly 21 gigabyte library, preset waveform data created using multiple systems. So that is extensive. There you go. You say right there. The SSD provides 62 gigs of storage. He's right on that, offering ample space for sampling and an option to expand your collection with additional Kronos and sound libraries. These optional libraries feature professionally programmed sounds. So you do get the storage, and they still got the 9 inches. The 9 inches, the Divine 9. That's hilarious. And the Heart of Kronos lies the 9 inches. Go ahead.
You know what else I wanted to touch on too, and I don't know if people talk about this enough with the Kronos. It actually comes with software.
Right.
So it comes with software where you can control the Kronos, your hardware send the Kronos on the computer. Because that's what when I did have one, that's what I would do. I would have it hooked up to the computer and I could change the sounds without actually being at the actual keyboard. You know, and I could edit the sounds without being at the actual keyboard. So whatever I did on the software, it did on the hardware keyboard. So, and this was back when I had it 10 years ago.
Wow.
So with this new Kronos 3, I would imagine they've upgraded the software as well. But I don't think people touch on that enough, that it comes with a pretty dope software editor with it, you know, so.
Man, I think it's going to be a fantastic board. They have the 9 engines. It's going to have warmth analog modeling, precision of PCM sampling, dynamic possibilities. And you just read the engines, man. The grand piano sound engine, the AP, the C-tone wheel, high definition synthesizer engine, ES analog modeling, Poly 6, analog sound engine, the wave shaping VPM. That's crazy. And then the plus string sound engine. So that means that your strings and your stuff is going to sound very original. Here you go, 16 track. This is why it's a workstation, ladies and gentlemen. It has a 16 track MIDI and audio sequencer. I'm so upset about my EX not having this. Right? They have it's a looper. I know they want to say what it is. No, it's a looper. It's a looper with the TRS, and I like it. It's cool, but it's just like why? Why couldn't y'all just keep it a full-fledged? Thank you, Korg. Thank you. This might be.
I remember when I had mine, I could sequence. I could do everything right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't have to get off of the keyboard. Even I remember when I had a Trinity, I could sequence in the Trinity. You know, so that's where I think again where it stands out from like the Roland models and the Yamaha models, because I had a montage too, and you couldn't sequence like that on the montage.
No.
Yeah.
It was like it's like pattern sequencers. That's really what it is. That's how Roland is, pattern sequencers. So 16 sequencers. Using a set list, touch view display, 16 color. You even have handy things, scene chorus, transpose down, wait for it. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. The set list dedicate 9 graphic EQ, allow our overall tone to be tweaked and matched. Set list now allows for deeper customization. Slot colors, text, the full thing. Connecting a USB to computer makes it a simple to enter text and numeric values. 16-port effects, powerful effects, 12 inserts, EQ, timbre sequencer track. That's crazy. That's gonna be dope. And then US. All right, so let's get this. The back here. This is the back we're talking about. We want to see. Here. Now, if we look at the back, it says Kronos offers robust US MIDI host functionality and having a seamless integration with class-compliant USB MIDI controllers. This versatility allows you to enhance your workflow by connecting external controllers directly to your Kronos without the need of additional hardware complex setups. For added convenience, Korg pad-equipped USB MIDI controllers such as the NanoPad and NanoPad 2, the pad control, are instantly optimized for use. Pads 1 through 8 automatically match the Kronos virtual chord pad function, letting you play drums, trigger chords, or switch between chords in chord mode effortlessly. This streamlined compatibility empowers you to expand your creative possibilities and maximize your performance potential. This looks fantastic. Now, I do notice it's a couple things on here that I see that's kind of interesting. One, the outs. Now, the one thing I like about my Roland, it has the XLR outs, right? It has the balance and unbalance, and it has the SLR outs on here. These look balanced. These are all balanced, quarter-inch outs. So you got your main left, right. Then you got 4 outs here, individual outs there, which is cool. Then you got your pedal, switch, and damper. Normal. Then you got your spitter. We come back to spitter. Then you got your midis, and then you got.
I'm gonna pull it up on my phone so I can see too. Cause I have my eyes are shot. I'm gonna pull up on my phone so I can see what you're looking at.
All right, so then you got the inputs also, and like I said, I do think that the inputs could be XLR, but it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. I'm just saying, like, this. I'm nitpicking. Korg, listen. When you send it to me and I review it, listen, I'm a reviewer. I'm just nitpicking right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be fair, but I'm always going to be fair. And listen, audience, I'm always be fair. I'm nitpicking. I admit, I'm nitpicking right now. It has a mic and line in match. Now, I don't know if it has phantom power. That'll be good if you really want to make it an all-in-one solution for studio and USB integration. Now, that's one thing I do like about the Roland, right? If the Roland had a full-fledged sequencer, it would be a win. And the second thing, now this Korg, this is going to be big, Korg, because this is the one thing, Kerry, you know what I'm about to say. What's the one thing I hate about the Roland right now? What's the one thing I hate about the Roland Phantom EX right now? The doggone drivers. The drivers are so trash. Oh, my God. Listen.
Wait, I'm pulling it up so I can look at what you're looking at on the back.
Why you doing that? Okay. So while you doing that, I'm gonna talk about why. Why? Now, if you look at my setup right now, hold on, let me move my camera a little bit. So if you look at my setup right now, I have the MPC there, and there's a reason why I have the MPC there. Kerry, would you like to tell them why I have the MPC there? The MPC 61, key 61 there.
Because I suggested that you get an MPC. Which I still think it's out of all of the keyboards. I mean, I think it holds its own. The sounds might not be as lush as a Kronos, but it's still, it's in there. And the drum sounds, number one, the drum sounds.
Yeah, the drum sounds all the way. The reason it's there now, you know why it's sitting there now? When I have a $4,000 keyboard sitting behind me, a $3,000 keyboard, $3,500 keyboard behind me, because the driver on the Roland is not compatible with M1 silicon, with Mac silicon. It recognizes it. It recognizes it, right? So when I go to my computer and I pull it down, it shows, it recognizes the audio ins and outs. But when I go into Logic or Studio One or Cubase, and I want to I cannot control it because guess what I have to do? I have to run it back to what? Kerry starts with an R, to Rosetta. And oh my God, please. It's fourth. Roland, NAM. Hey, I know Roland. I know y'all talking about coming out with something else. But the one thing y'all need to come out with, I know y'all got the new controller, the S88 was the S88 that's coming out, the new controller that y'all just dropped. I know y'all just dropped that. But if y'all could please, just for the EX users, just for the Roland EX community, drop the driver so we can use the Roland EX the way we, as a centerpiece to my studio.
Yeah, because I mean they could do that in an update. I mean they don't have to make a whole new machine. You can do that in an update and have it so you can operate where it can control Logic. You know what I mean? Like every other keyboard can do. Because there's no reason. Like, okay, that's a $4,000 synth. There's no reason why a $1,500 synth can do it, but your $4,000 synth can't.
Nah, I am mad at. Listen, MPC, I'm mad at you also because in order for me to control Logic, I have to open up your MPC software in Logic, and I don't want to have to do that to get all the features of my MPC Key 61. I had to open up the MPC software, SoftSynth in Logic in order to get all the features.
Well, you don't have to necessarily.
Okay, thank you. Please enlighten me. Thank you so much. This is why you're here. Come on, man. Give me that expertise. What can I do to change that? Because right now I'm frustrated.
It's two ways you can do it. Easiest way, get you a USB MIDI cable, right?
Okay.
Plug your round 5-pin MIDI cables in the back of your MPC USB into the computer, and you could play the MPC with Logic. Now your play and your stop is not going to work,
right?
But you can play your keys in Logic, or just use the USB in the back of your MPC and USB in the computer. You are gonna have the red screen, which is
right, which I can't stand. Sometimes. Yes, I cannot stand. Why?
I don't know what that is.
Cool. All you gotta do is just change it. Just let me get the black screen with all the options on it.
Yeah. But if you use the MIDI cable, though, you don't have that. It just looks like the regular MPC screen. But if you use the USB cable, you could play and stop and rewind to control Logic and use the keys, but you're just gonna have that red screen in front of you. I don't know what that is to me. Like, I don't like it. It just bothers me.
This is my issue. I can't change the octaves or pitch or tap tempo or any of those things are not available in DAW control mode, right?
Right, which is weird. I don't know why they did that, but if you use just the MIDI cable, the 5-pin MIDI cable to USB, you can control the octaves and stuff like that.
Now I heard you can do it. Now I'm not sure. I think they say you can do it in the Key 37. So there might be something
you can.
Right. They said the Key 37 you can do it. But I'm just like, okay, cool. Well, why won't you come on, Akai, release a driver for those that have the Key 61 to do that so we can control the DAW like that. That's just for us that's not gonna do standalone. I know y'all standalone. Bolo just made a video about standalone sounds better. I get it. But just for us in the box users that doing a hybrid kind of whatever, saying I would love to use this whole section of the keyboard is cut off when I go to what's the thing. I can't use the whole half of the keyboard. That's crazy. So this is good. It does have the spiff, and I think you was talking about spiff earlier. What were you saying about spiff real quick? So we're going to go.
I think you should. Now this is just me speculating because I don't think the Kronos don't come out until June, right?
What, this Kronos?
Yeah, the Kronos 3.
I know they're going to do the unveiling on next week. They're going to unveil it next week at NAMM. So I don't know when it's actually going to drop. It may be June. It may be June. I think so.
But I'm guessing they may have the spiff where you could have the digital outs, the 16 outs. Mm-hmm. So that would be dope if they did that. Okay. But I don't know if that's what they're going to use it for. Because, you could use it for so many different things. But
yeah,
I think just the fact that they have it, though, that's special. Because I've actually never seen a keyboard with the spiff on there. I've never seen that.
No, the Fantom FA 76 had it. Not the last one. Not the last one. I don't think it has spiff. Nope. I don't see it. It just has a USB. And I got an FA over in the corner. I got a USB thing. Hey man, I'm sorry. We're gear sluts. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, "What the hell are they talking about?" Like spiff. Like, what the hell is that?
We're gear sluts, right? So yeah, I got my FA over there, my O1W, my Korg, all that's over there. So it's crazy. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the spiff, something that Roland does, and we gotta go, Kerry. You gotta go. Something that Roland does, that I love. Now I diss Roland about the driver, but this is one thing I do love, and a lot of people don't because they say it sounds artificial, but I love the digital audio that comes through Roland that runs to the USB cable. I don't need another like now I'm running my MPC 61 through my Behringer and I'm running ADAT, but I'm running Roland straight USB USB-C USB to USB-C, and I just use the digital audio coming from the Roland, and I love it. You know, I love that.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. I think it's great. I don't have any sound, any artifacts. I don't have any electric static or anything. The white noise, it's just pure. Now, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of analog people like the, you know, they like the analog sound. I'm more of a progressive, so I like mine to sound clear and crystal, and I don't want to hear nothing. Now I have to turn it up and down and try to go back and have to silence all, you know, see the silence all version, cutting everything out. I love it, and I think that's what the speaker will probably be used for too.
There is something I want to bring up because I see we got a few people watching. I got a few minutes, but it is one thing I wanted to bring up that you and I we always have a debate on.
Okay,
kind of bouncing off the Kronos 3 is hardware. The convenience of using a hardware versus using a software synth. Because I know me and you, we always talk, and you always say, I'm getting a keyboard. Like, what do you need a keyboard for? You know, you got the sounds or whatever. But I will say, on the front end, having a standalone keyboard on the front end is quicker than using a software synth. Because you can get on the keyboard, and your sounds are right there. They load up fairly quickly, whereas though if you go to like a Logic and you try to get to a string sound from Contact, it's going to take a couple minutes to load.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But if you're on a keyboard, it's like right there. But the biggest convenience I see with the hardware synths is once you get it into the computer, if you have to change something, you got to go back and re-record everything else. You know, you got to re-record the changes and everything else. Whereas if you do it on software, you could just go in and click the notes, you know, and change it. But I think hardware is more convenient because you could just sit and you could get your work out of the way fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas though software, it takes a little bit more time to load your sounds and find your sounds and go over here and get this. And if you're on your hardware synth, you could just punch go to your patch and do what you got to do. So I did just want to bring that up real quick, just because I'm mainly a software instruments guy because we have to work like super quick. You know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, the publisher or the music supervisor, whoever, they're going to want to change. So for me to sit here and use a hardware synth, yeah, it can sound good to me. But if they say, hey, I want you to change this right here at 15 seconds, that means I got to go back and re-record that whole audio patch again, as opposed to just taking a clicker and just moving it up and down. So I just wanted to bring that point up. Just the difference between soft synths and hardware synths.
I just
That's
think
it.
Okay, the reason why I got all these keyboards, Carrie, is because I'm going to be working with choirs and live musicians
and I was going to say.
and things of that nature. So that's why I got on. And I still have Contact. I still have is it Contact or Cutcat? It's Contact, right? I still
Contact,
have Contact. I still have Contact. I still have what is it? 15?
You got it.
Complete 15. No, Complete 15.
Yeah.
Collection. I don't have 15, but the collections edition still have all that. So all that's I still have all those sounds and everything. I got Galaxis for Rolling Cloud. I got everything. But the reason is when you're working with groups and choirs and stuff like that, I got 2 choir albums in the hole right now. So
because you're like a keyboardist. You're like a keyboardist. You play in front of people. Put me on the stage with a keyboard. And you're gonna see something very funny. I'm great in front of the computer, but put me in front of the keyboard. I couldn't do what you do and play in front of people.
But that's I like I said, I'm a gear slut. See, Carrie, you're taking away my issues, and my wife will be like, "See, I told you, you didn't need a Rolling Fantom. You didn't need a CS.
No. I'm talking on my behalf because if I come in here with like 5 keyboards, my wife is gonna be like, "Where the hell are you going with those?" Like it's just like you don't go to church, you know what I mean? Like what are you doing?
We're gonna get you to church, Carrie. We gotta get you to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. I have 9 keyboards right now.
Ooh,
9.
Yeah, see that's good. That's a blessing right there.
It is. It's 9, and as soon as this drop, I'm going to have 10.
I was going to ask you about that.
Hey, when
Say nothing.
Hey, when I saw 26 with you, I said, that sounds interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, wait a minute. We supposed to be remodeled in the house?
Yeah.
Maybe, we've been living in it this long. You know what I'm saying? We can work a couple more months. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I got to Hey, bro, I appreciate you, though. You don't think I should get it?
I mean...
You already... Carrie, what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do?
You gonna get it.
Of course, you already know. Yeah. Well, no, I'm hoping that Korg, you see this, send it to me, let me try it out. And if I like it, I will keep it. If I don't, I'm gonna send it back. You know what I'm saying?
I think they should give it to you just because you're one of the first people to review it. So I think they should.
I think they should allow. I'm gonna write when I get off. I'm sending this to them. I'm gonna edit it. And I'm gonna send it to them. And when I send it to them, I'm gonna see how. Once I send it to them, I'm gonna see what they think. And because we did do a pretty extensive review of it. So Korg, do what you gotta do. Now, if I mess around and get the NAMM next week, Korg, you can go ahead and just send one home with me. You never get in to play with it. I figure out how to get it home. You just give it to me. You know what I'm saying? I'll send it back to you when I'm done. Carrie, thank you, man. I know you gotta go do some karate. You know what I'm saying? What y'all learned how to do today in the class today?
I'm on my yellow belt technique, so we're learning a move called 5 swords.
Ooh.
It teaches you how to chop somebody 5 times within a matter of 5 seconds.
Boy, that sound like some Wu-Tang. It's a Wu-Tang stuff. That's crazy. That's crazy. Listen, last words real quick.
No, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. I was scared to come on here. I don't talk that much. I don't be online that much. But yeah, no, this was a real treat, and it actually gives me more of a respect for you and what you do as far as being a host. Because people think like you get on and you just talk. But you have to be able to direct a conversation, you know what I mean? Which I would be horrible at.
No, you'd be excellent. You're Hayes. That's one thing we can do is hold a conversation, baby. We can talk. Yeah, but man, I appreciate you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say props to you, man. I really enjoyed myself in doing this.
So okay, we can do it again. What do you got? You look to the right. That's a no. You look to the right. That's a no. I'm trying to make this a weekly thing, Carrie. This is the podcast. The people. We got like people watching right now.
I will consider
it. Fans, hit the like button. Y'all need Carrie to do this weekly thing when we come talk about synthesizers, beats, inspiration, production, music. All those things that's going on, man. And listen, I want to say I appreciate
You know what topic I would come back for if we talk about who the best producers are? I would come back for that.
Oh, we already know who they are.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now. Carrie Hayes and King David Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
I like
that. No, seriously. That is a great conversation. Right now, that is a great conversation. I will say this: it's some kids that got some heat out there. I agree with both in that sense. It's some young guys is making some noise. So I agree with that, but I still think I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna lead with this. I appreciate what he's doing, but we have to understand the kids normally dictate the trends.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The adults and the professional dictate the standards. Okay,
that's
the ones. Point. So like, let's not get confused of something that's been trendy and conflate that with being the standard. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's the thing that we have to do. Thank everybody from Etch for showing up. Thank you for people on YouTube for popping in and out. Man, Etch, y'all been holding out. Etch, y'all, I love Etch, man. Etch, please hit a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Etch, hit the follow if you're on there. And Facebook, same thing. Love you guys. This has been Synthesizers Beats with Carrie Haynes and King David Jordan. We see y'all soon. Peace.